Across the history of the Church, martyrdom has often arisen where power sought to shape conscience. In such moments, faith is tested not only by public decree, but through personal coercion, intimidation, and abuse of authority. These encounters reveal how inner freedom can endure even when every external condition presses toward surrender. The witness of the martyrs shows that confession is rarely dramatic in its beginning. It unfolds quietly through choices made long before trial appears. When persecution arrives, it exposes what has already been formed in the heart. Fidelity then becomes visible, not as impulse, but as consistency lived to its end. The life and martyrdom of Saint Agatha of Palermo belong to this pattern. Her witness emerged within the Roman world of Sicily, where authority claimed dominion over bodies and belief. Through steadfast confession, she revealed how devotion to Christ orders the whole person, even under relentless pressure. Agatha was born in Sicily during the 3rd century, traditionally associated with Palermo or Catania. She came from a noble family and was raised within the Christian faith at a time when believers lived under constant threat. From an early age, her life was marked by prayer and deliberate dedication to Christ. Her commitment was expressed through consecrated virginity, a choice that shaped her identity and direction. This dedication was not merely personal devotion. It represented an ordering of life toward God, embraced freely and sustained through discipline. In a society governed by hierarchy and possession, such a choice carried visible consequence. Agatha's beauty and noble status drew attention beyond the Christian community. Her life became known within circles of authority, where women of rank were often viewed through the lens of control and advantage. Her consecration challenged these expectations, asserting a freedom rooted in faith rather than social custom. At that time, Quintianus governed Sicily on behalf of Roman power. He sought Agatha, drawn by desire and the confidence of command. When she refused him, her Christian identity became the ground for accusation. Personal rejection transformed into legal pressure, cloaked in the authority of the state. Agatha was seized and brought before Quintianus. He demanded submission and renunciation of her faith. She answered with calm clarity, declaring herself a servant of Christ. Her words revealed conviction shaped over time, steady and unyielding, without provocation or fear. In an attempt to break her resolve, Quintianus placed Agatha under the supervision of Aphrodisia, a woman known for corrupting young women. This confinement sought to weaken her through isolation and moral pressure. The trial shifted from public demand to private erosion of conscience. Agatha endured this period with restraint and prayer. Her dedication did not waver. What was intended to compromise her integrity instead strengthened her readiness. The path before her had narrowed, and fidelity had become unmistakable. Agatha was brought again before Quintianus, where formal interrogation replaced persuasion. The governor questioned her faith and demanded sacrifice to the Roman gods. Agatha answered with clarity, affirming her identity as a Christian and rejecting any act that would sever her communion with Christ. Her confession was steady, revealing a conscience already prepared for what lay ahead. Angered by her refusal, Quintianus ordered punishment. The violence inflicted upon Agatha targeted her body directly, seeking to humiliate and dominate what she had consecrated to God. Tradition preserves that her breasts were mutilated, an act meant to break her dignity and extinguish her resolve. The suffering was severe, yet her faith remained intact. During this torment, Agatha responded with words that revealed spiritual depth. She spoke of her body as belonging to Christ, not to earthly authority. Her suffering became confession, transforming pain into testimony. What was intended as degradation instead revealed the integrity of a life offered wholly to God. After the torture, Agatha was cast into prison. Wounded and weakened, she was left without care. In the silence of confinement, prayer continued. Tradition recounts that St. Peter appeared to her, bringing healing and comfort. This visitation strengthened her, confirming that her suffering was known and received by God. At dawn, Agatha was brought once more before Quintianus. Seeing her restored, he renewed his demands, pressing her to renounce Christ. Agatha refused again, affirming that her healing did not come from earthly power. Her words exposed the emptiness of authority that seeks obedience through fear rather than truth. Condemned definitively, Agatha was subjected to further torment. As suffering intensified, an earthquake struck the city, causing fear among those present. Interpreting this as divine warning, the governor ordered her return to prison. The judgment had been pronounced, and her path toward completion was now clear. Within the prison, Agatha gave thanks to God. She prayed that her life might be received as offering, and that her suffering might strengthen the faithful. Shortly afterward, she surrendered her soul peacefully, completing her martyrdom not in chaos, but in prayer and trust. After her repose, the memory of Agatha's witness spread quickly among the faithful of Sicily. Her death did not silence her confession. It deepened it. Christians gathered her relics with reverence, preserving the testimony of a life offered without compromise. What had been endured in suffering became a source of courage for a church living under continued pressure. The church received Agatha not only as a martyr of the past, but as an intercessor present in prayer. Accounts of her help and protection multiplied, especially during moments of danger and calamity. Her name became associated with deliverance and steadfast faith, linking her bodily suffering to spiritual refuge sought by the faithful. Liturgical memory gave form to this reception. Hymns and prayers preserved her confession, presenting her as a virgin who guarded integrity unto death. Through worship, her life entered the rhythm of ecclesial time, ensuring that her witness would not fade into history, but remain alive in prayer and proclamation. The theology of Agatha's martyrdom speaks directly to the dignity of the human person. Her body, wounded by violence, remained a place of offering rather than possession. In this, her witness reveals that sanctity is not diminished by suffering inflicted unjustly. It is revealed through fidelity maintained under trial. Within the Orthodox Church, Saint Agatha of Palermo is venerated as a model of freedom shaped by devotion to Christ. Her life affirms that faith orders the whole person, uniting body and soul in confession. Her memory continues to strengthen those who face pressure, fear, or coercion for the sake of conscience. After the repose of Saint Agatha, her witness did not remain confined to remembrance alone. The Church received her martyrdom as a living presence, expressed through prayer and trust in her intercession. Among the faithful of Sicily, her name became closely associated with protection, especially in moments when danger threatened entire communities rather than individuals. Ancient tradition preserves that Saint Agatha was invoked against fire and destruction, particularly in relation to eruptions of Mount Etna. In times of fear, the faithful carried her veil in prayerful procession, entrusting their city to her intercession. This act was not treated as spectacle, but as appeal rooted in the communion of saints and the memory of her offering. The Church does not frame this memory through technical detail or historical measurement. Its meaning lies elsewhere. The intercession of Saint Agatha is understood as extension of her fidelity, now shared with the people who call upon her. Prayer became the space where suffering endured, once continued to bear fruit through hope and trust. This devotion spread and endured, shaping the spiritual identity of Sicily. Saint Agatha came to be remembered not only as a virgin martyr of the past, but as a protector present in the life of the Church. Her witness illustrates how martyrdom, received in prayer, does not end with death, but enters the rhythm of ecclesial life. Through this living memory, the Church confesses that holiness does not withdraw from the world. It remains near, attentive to the cries of the faithful. In this way, the martyrdom of Saint Agatha of Palermo continues to shape both prayer and trust, revealing how fidelity offered once becomes refuge for many. The witness of Saint Agatha of Palermo reminds us that fidelity to Christ shapes the whole person, even under the weight of suffering and injustice. Her life reveals how conscience, formed through prayer and devotion, can remain free when authority seeks control. If this testimony has spoken to you, you are welcome to remain with us. This channel is dedicated to presenting the lives of Orthodox saints and feasts with historical care and theological depth, allowing their witness to continue guiding and strengthening the faithful today.